So in this vid we're going to talk about basics and intro into DRT or MRS, abbreviations that you may use in your country, which just mean double rope system or moving rope system. Both exact same thing, just different ways of saying it. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first of all, you need to be able to get your rope into the tree. So we'll just start with the first branch here, and we can go up from there after that with changeovers. So with your rope, what I do is you can make there's different ways for this: granny's handbag, monkey's fist. You just do a couple wraps and then around twice, then just put a bite through the middle, and then you can go over the top, but I just leave it like that because I like it to roll out as soon as I throw it. And then for this example, we'll just go for this lowest branch. If you do that, you do 2 more loops to create a little bit more rope to go into the tree. And all you do then obviously is throw it over the first branch, and mine always unravels like that. So you always want to try and get your rope so it's isolated, so there's no unions in between it, just like so. So we've got our rope installed, there's no unions in between, so now we can, in theory, we could climb with just this one single bit of rope. So for this it would be a closed system, and that means that obviously you can't advance it without untying it all, re-throwing and then retying it all. But it's quite good for getting you out of a sticky situation in a tree where you could potentially use the tail of your rope to get yourself down. So what you start with is a full arm stretch, like so, and then you can tie whatever you want, a bowline, a fisherman's, whatever you want. In this scenario I'm just going to use a clove hitch. So you just want to make sure that's good. So now you want maybe about a foot, and you're going to tie your blakes. So I put my thumb on the standing tail like so, and go around it twice, and then go around twice again above it, above my thumb, like so. And then you want to go over the top of this leg, around the back of the standing leg that you've got your thumb on, and then back through the two where you had your thumb placed. So that is the blakes, and now you want to set it, make sure it's all going to function correctly, and then finish off with a stopper knot to stop this pulling through, and untying the knot for you. And there you'd have a closed system with the blakes. So obviously there I could climb around, go up to my union, do what I need to, and then the function for this for going up is the body thrust technique. So how I do it, if you can't just grab the rope and pull, if you haven't got that strength, you can wrap your hand below, and then that gives you a little bit more to pull, and then you push. So that is the function of the blakes. And then all you do to descend then is just pull on the hitch down to come down. So I'd say as well, this is probably the perfect length for doing a long distance ascent, but I'd potentially make it shorter for when I'd be in the tree climbing, which you can do that by just adjusting the clove hitch down here, pulling it through a bit to give yourself a shorter hitch. So then I'd be a little bit better for climbing around the tree. So that was the most basic way of getting into the tree, climbing around, and something that potentially a lot of people will probably forget. Me included, sometimes I never really do this, but for these little scenarios where you may need it to get yourself out of a pinch, it's something just to remember. Moving on from the blakes to an open system, which allows you then to advance your rope higher once you get into position up to that union you've just thrown to. All you need then is a prusik loop, preferably something a good length, and all you do then is just tie a prusik like so, So just a normal 4-wrap prusik. If it's not grabbing, you can do a 6-wrap. You want to try and get all the legs the same length so it grabs nicely. And then with this one I have got a spliced eye, but some knots you can use obviously that would be a bowline, or I prefer to use a fisherman's just because it's a little bit more of a compact knot and stays out the way of the prusik and everything, and just a little bit neater. And all you do then is clip them all onto the carabiner. You could have separate carabiners for this if you wanted, so then you can be a bit more clued up to when you get to the branch to remove which one. So you could have like a red one onto the prusik, so you know not to take that one off. So then again, you want to just make sure it's going to grab. That functions perfectly, and it's the same technique that we just did before with the Blakes, which is pull and thrust. So up and thrust, and I find that your arm here, as you can see, it locks out naturally in a natural position. So anyone that's struggling with that technique, you can go and just practice that. Is when you pull down, for me I'm right-handed, so when you pull down with your right hand, your arm actually naturally locks in this position. So you can stay like that for quite a long time, and then you'd push it up with your other hand. So that's how you'd use a prusik. So with this next system, it's going to be the Hitch climber system, which is well known throughout the world now. So with this one, again, it's another open system, so you can advance it. It just has a slightly different technique with how you ascend and tending a lot, but it's a lot more of a compact, user-friendly system. So a nice knot to use for when you're starting with this is something you want that's going to grab every time after you've tended it. So I use the nut for this. So again, tie the nut, you start with it behind the rope, you're eye to eye, you go up and around, and then you go as many times up as you can. This will be 4. And then with this leg here, you go through, down, like so, and there's your knot. So that's your hitch you're going to be climbing on. So now you'd add the hitch climber underneath, like so, eye either side, and then clip in. I like to rotate my carabiners in case at any point I need to take the system off. So that is your knot. So obviously you can see there's an extra hole here now, where I like to leave the carabiner on here, rotate it round, and then clip in. So this rope has a splice. So this is where a splice is coming very handy for this configuration, because you can just clip straight in and away you go. And also, one thing to be aware of, if you don't have a splice, you can tie a knot, but just make sure that the knot, when you're using it, it doesn't interfere with the hitch, because there is points where it might interfere with the hitch and stop it even grabbing at all. So let's see if this knot will grab. So you can end up where the hitch goes on top of it, and can't make it do it, but you can push down the hitch like that and stop it from grabbing. So this is where a splice is a little bit more user friendly for this scenario and a little bit safer. So what you do for ascending, as you can see, I'm literally just pulling, that's all I'm doing, and it's ascending up. Let's see, to descend, all you do is pull the hitch, the same as you did with the prusik and the Blakes. You just pull the hitch down and you go down. But the benefit of the pulley is that you can pull up and use the pulley to push the hitch up. That's what's going on there. But if you've got a longer ascent and you're having to go up higher, this is where the technique changes. Both hands above the knot. You pull and thrust like you were before. I wouldn't do more than 2 of them, and then you want to tend the slack while holding with your opposite hand. So I'll just show you that again. I'm going to go up couple, 10 the slack, and then carry on. So this is probably one of the more user-friendly and well-used system, I would say, in our industry. The next after this will be a zigzag, but there's no need, this is more of a basic intro. So there's this, and then if you like the zigzag, you can always give that a go as well. It's the exact same as this. The zigzag was based off this, but a VT rather than a nut. So now we've done some systems that you can get started with and climb. We'll head up to the tree and demonstrate a changeover, and we'll do that to the top of the tree, install a cambium saver, and then talk a little bit about working from the top and choosing your route and plan for the work you're going to do, and then descend and show you some tips as well of retrieving gear, just to help you out and get you going in the industry. So I've ascended up into the tree. Luckily I had a branch to stand on once I got here. Sometimes you have to barrel roll, but with a branch this size it can be very difficult. So anyway, so now I need to advance my tie-in. So obviously you need to lanyard in, make yourself safe before you do anything else. Check that's going to grab. Okay, lanyard's nice and safe, I'm good. So now I can unclip my open system, and literally all it is then is repeating what you did on the floor, but in the tree. So now I can get a lump of rope like this. There's a nice branch up there, hopefully I can get, I don't hit the camera. So heads, and I'll just roll that out until it falls down. So there we'd have the next tie-in, and I can tighten it up, clip back in, and then before I take my lanyard off, I just want to make sure that everything's functioning and grabbing. Sometimes you might have to just sit in it, slacking your lanyard off. Yeah, that's all functioning correctly. So I can take my lanyard off, and then head up to the next branch. So I'll get up there and we'll start talking about anchor points. Okay, so I've ascended up to my anchor point. So I've decided now I'm going to use this as my final anchor. So again, I'm going to lanyard in, make myself safe first, and then I'm going to install a cambium saver. So it can be a ring and ring. Here I'm using a thimble saver. So I'm going to install this here, and then you want to go small ring to big ring. Small ring first, then big ring, just to stop the wear on the tree, damaging the tree, especially if you're not removing it. Or even if you are removing it, it just stops wear and tear on your gear. Makes it last longer. So again, check it's going to grab before removing your lanyard. So another tip for work positioning and, well, not work positioning, but working in general, your route planning. So obviously I've come up from this side and then I want to work that side. So there is a technique where with double rope you don't want to be going up and down, trying to pull yourself up, hauling yourself up all the time. So what you call is a ponytail redirect. So when you get to the top of the tree, you want to have a quick look, see which way you want to go first, and then where you want to go after. Lay your rope. So for this example, I've come up from the right. So I'm going to go and work over on the left-hand side over here, do a load of work, and then I'll show you a quick way then to get back onto that side without going all the way back up to my anchor and going down, which, like I said before, is called the ponytail redirect. So I'll head down and then I'll show you that technique. All right, so I've worked that side of the tree and I want to get back over there. So you want to get into a position where you can reach the tail of the rope. Hopefully you can still see me. Go and lanyard in for a suitable position. check that your lanyard's functioning and grabbing. So what you want to do now is take your system off, and you want to do a marlin spike underneath and clip that into the bottom carabiner. So then what you do, sometimes you need to create more slack. In this scenario, it'll be fine. It's like I always do the same routine. You can do it either way, but I always then pull the spliced eye end. So then as you can see, it goes up into the tree. You want to pull it so it's above the branch that you're going over. And then you want to grab your retrieval line on your tail and pull that, which will then pull it down, moving it back onto the other side. And as you can see, with me not giving myself enough slack, I've almost not been able to reach it. So obviously you take the marlin spike out. The marlin spike was to stop the system advancing itself and creating it so it gets stuck in the tree. So now I'm onto the other side of the tree. I can reattach my double rope system, check it's functioning and grabbing. There's no interference or deflections in the tree. I can take off my lanyard, and now I can go about my work over this side of the tree. Okay, so a safe and efficient way to retrieve your cambium saver out of the tree without having it smashed down to the floor. Say you're working on the road, so you've got tarmac ground, concrete floor, whatever, you just don't want to smash your tree. Instead of just pulling it out and hoping for the best, what you can do is get your tail of your rope, and before you go to the floor, you want to find a decent branch, a good distance up. It could be the last branch if you're in a big tree, so like this. And all you have to do then is just throw your tail over, and then you can just do a running bow line over. I was going to use a spare carabiner, but I haven't got one. So you want to do then is just do a bow line then around the prusik side of the rope. And then what this is doing, make it quite a tight one because you want it to catch. So what you're doing here is you're going to catch the cambium saver as it falls out the tree. So I'll just sit there and float. So now I can go to the floor, put my retrieval ball on, and then it'll catch it and retrieve. So I'll head to the floor and then we'll show it being retrieved. So just going to add on my retrieval ball and then just keep an eye on that running bow line as I retrieve my cambium saver. So that catches it like so, as you can see, and then I can haul it down, and all you do is just keep pulling it to now bring it to the floor, just like so. And all you'd have to do then is take off your ball, nicely controlled, undo your knot or your carabiner or whatever you had there. You could have just untied the knot and that would have done the same thing, and then you can just pull out your rope. So the nice easy way to bring your rope and your gear out of the tree without smashing it into the ground. So we'll just quickly now go into a couple little tips to help you as well. So this is a little tip with the hitch climber. Say you're dangling like I am now in mid-air, and obviously it's going to be quite hard to body thrust all the way up to the top. What you can do, once I get turned around, is you could use a foot ascender, which then will also tend your slack. So if you'd pull down with your foot ascender, it tends your slack for you, and you can repeat that all the way up, like so. Or say you don't have a foot ascender, like now, what you can do is a foot lock. So you'd foot lock the tail. So again, you go like this, trap the rope, and it's doing the exact same. Stand up, and it's tending the rope for you. So it's doing the exact same as the foot ascender, but you don't have to use it. And this is a really good technique lift to learn in general. It's nice, efficient. You don't always have your gear, and when you get good at it, it makes life a lot easier. Say you've advanced from the Prusik to this system, and you've got a really long haul. You haven't got a foot ascender, you haven't learned the technique for the foot locking, or you just got a really long haul and you just don't want to do that all the way to the top. You could use your Prusik from before. You can put it through your ring. You can extend then the system away from you, like so. And then all you need to do then is, because that's going to grab, is pull down on the bottom side and it's going to grab. So as long as you can reach it, which I just can, that's a really good way to haul yourself into the tree with little effort, and all you're doing is pulling. So again, all you're doing is just extending the system away from you. Obviously on this I got an adjustable bridge, so I could just extend out my bridge and do the exact same thing. But you could use, like I say, your Prusik cord that you used before, or you can use a sling, just anything that can extend this away from you. Another way that you can do it is to tie a clove hitch. So you get a little bit of tail. You want to then tie a clove hitch and clip that into the top carabiner, just like so. So now you've created a double rope system there. With the tail now, you want to go through your ring and clip that into the bottom carabiner now. So now you've done the exact same thing, but with no gear. So now you can go up, all the way to the top, hopefully get your feet onto some branches. You can lanyard in and then just go back to being on a more smaller, tighter system. So that's another way of doing it. The UK, this is the exact same as what you do, you just have two of these systems. So it's the exact same, all the principles can be converted over into both. UK or just anywhere else in the world climbing. So all these techniques are all still relevant. So to, I guess, finish off the video, hopefully you all learned something from that, whether it's just one little tip that was there that you didn't know, or the whole thing was helpful for you for while you're on your course at college, or you're starting to learn and climbing in general. So I'll leave the video there. Thanks for watching. And if this is the sort of thing you like watching, I have got a double rope, 2-rope system video, which I'll put here now. You can click on that if you want to watch some more in-depth stuff with 2 ropes working in the UK. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.